Hi there guys, Veno here and welcome to this VenoPlonk production. So I did have a specific video planned for today, but due to reasons I'm probably not going to get around to doing it due to some housework basically going on at the moment and me feeling a bit too self-conscious to necessarily do a video. I may still do it at some point. If you're interested to know what the video is, it's basically showing off my Beatles stereo box set and my mono box set at some point, which is something I've wanted to revisit for quite some time. But in lieu of not doing that video, I thought I would capture some gameplay of this game. This is the latest, actually it's not the latest, but it's one of the latest PlayStation exclusives. This is Ghost of Tsushima. This is basically open world samurai game. I bought this in conjunction with my Zatoichi box set. I'm sure if you guys have seen that video. If not, you can go back through my back catalogue and you can find my Zatoichi Blu-ray, the Criterion Collection unboxing video and me showing off that particular video. But I wanted to buy that box set and also play this game. Now while I'm talking, I'm actually going to play the game so you're not just looking at the same picture or image for the next however long. So before I go any further, this game looks absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm playing on a 1080p telly. I do have super sampling on and I do believe this game does run at some kind of 4K or as upscaled, whatever it might be, but this game looks absolutely gorgeous. Now as of right now, there's nothing really to indicate spoilers. All I'm doing is riding down this path with my horse and there's nothing to really dictate much spoilers. Now I will be going through the options menus, I will be going through some of the gameplay, so before I go any further I would like to give you a massive warning for spoilers. I'm not that far into the game at all, but if you don't want to be spoiled in any way, shape or form, I suggest that you maybe tune out during those sections or maybe don't watch this video at all. But I'm not going to do anything major in the game that's going to completely spoil the game, but if I'm going through the map trying to look for an objective, I may accidentally stumble upon a spoiler, and of course my apologies for that, but I can't cover every single angle. I'm human after all, and sometimes as a human being I make mistakes. Accidents do happen. So the reason why I decided to buy this in conjunction with the Zatoichi box set is when I got Red Dead Redemption 2 a couple of years back, I played it constantly for 2 weeks, then bounced straight off of it. And the way I kind of got back into Red Dead Redemption 2 is by buying a bunch of Clint Eastwood box sets. I bought the Male No Name trilogy and I also bought a 35 film box set of Clint Eastwood's to try to get back into that, because of course Clint Eastwood is kind of one of the fathers, the grandfathers if you will, some of the progenitors, one of the progenitors of the Western genre. And Zatoichi is definitely in some respects a progenitor to samurai films. You could say Kurosawa is of course a major player with the Seventh Samurai and other Seven Samurai or other movies that of course he's produced and directed, but Zatoichi is the box that I decided to go for because I couldn't find many Kurosawa box sets around. Well, okay, that is... You can also hear, hopefully you can hear over my voice, the music. The score, I should probably actually say. Okay, I'm just gonna... Oh, okay. Looks like I'm about to get into a battle. I can show off the battle gameplay. So, actually, this is a rather interesting battle. And sort of emergent gameplay that has happened. And the reason why that's interesting is that's the first time That is so cool. So if you can get your sword out, or put it in and out, by swiping right on the touchpad on the PlayStation 4. And Jin Sakai here will put his sword in and out. If there is blood on the blade, he'll do that very cool swish where he swipes, swishes the blood off, and then will put his sword back in, which of course is a trope in a lot of samurai films where they sort of flick their sword and the blood spurts off and then they put their sword back in the sheath. I will say that this game does follow a lot of the samurai tropes, but it doesn't do them in a bad way. In fact, it does them in a kind of a homage kind of way. Yes, there are a lot of samurai tropes in this game, but the same token, if you buy in this game, kind of expect some of those tropes to come through. So the reason why that battle was kind of interesting is there were two different factions there battling with each other, which were also enemies to me. So I came along, riding along with my horse, noticed that this battle was taking place, and I decided to intervene, and little did I know that both parties were actually against me. Now, the story of this, when it first starts, is you're basically Jin Sakai, and you're trying to avenge your uncle. I'm not going to go into too much detail beyond that, because if I spoil anything beyond that, it's going to be quite big game spoilers. But you're trying to avenge your uncle in some way, shape or form. Your uncle's your mentor. He's the person who's basically taught you to be the samurai you are today, and of course, as with any samurai kind of trope, you are one of the best samurai to ever have lived, to ever have been. You're part of the Sakai tribe, or the Sakai clan rather, and you are notorious in your skill, and of course as a result you're kind of feared. A lot of people refer to you as Lord Sakai. A lot of people are very respectful towards you because of your status. The Sakai clan seems to be quite a prestigious known clan within this land, and of course your skills within that clan are also quite notorious and well known to this land, and of course there's respect that comes with that. The other thing that begins emerging as you kind of got from that battle over there, the other thing that starts emerging in this game is you start experiencing warring factions. There are different factions essentially vying for control, I suppose, because there is a power vacuum of sorts, and some kind of clan is trying to fill that power vacuum as best they can. The Mongols are the main enemy of the game. I will say that's not a massive spoiler. That's revealed right at the outset, pretty much, that they're the main enemy. But there are other clans and factions that pop up and do pose a threat to you. I'm not going to say who they are or what they are or why they're coming after you, but that's essentially what's happened. Some people, well, actually a good friend of mine, has said this is the good GOT in recent memory. GOT meaning Game of Thrones. So it's got some Game of Thrones elements to it, and where there's different factions basically trying to fill a power vacuum and, be in charge of many things. I'm going to look on the map now for a side mission of some description. I'm actually going to take off that main mission because I don't spoil it. There's actually a side mission literally just down here. I'm going to call for my horse. Your horse is magical. It's actually quite funny. One of the main components, one of the main things of the game that I like doing is, if you say, for instance, let's not do that. Get back on the horse. If I go over here, imagine that. Actually, this might be a good representation of what I'm going to do. So imagine. There we go. You don't have to imagine. So that would be too deep for my horse to traverse across this lake. But if I do this, then do that, and look behind me, or beside me, there we go. My horse is magically teleported across the lake. Oh yes, magic horse. You do have to suspend your disbelief at parts of this game. And I just think of this as Super Samurai, the game. Now this is made by Sucker Punch, which of course made the Sly Raccoon series and the Infamous series of games, which are superhero games. So I kind of, the way I suspend my disbelief is that Sakai here is a Super Samurai. And that's how I kind of suspend my disbelief. You probably think I'm crazy, but how else am I going to suspend my disbelief that I just swam across a lake and then magically summoned my horse? Right, I'll be back momentarily, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Real life beckoned for a bit there. Oh, another emergent gameplay. So one of the best parts of this game... Oh, okay. This is actually the mission that I selected.
Calm down. Who's been taken?
The invaders took our house. Down the road. My wife is there. With my son.
You left your family behind?
What choice did I have? I'm no warrior.
I'll help them. Stay here.
Now this is a side mission, so hopefully it's not going to spoil too much of the main story. That score, the music, the ambience of this game is incredible. So one thing I will say is you may see this wind that's often blows around. If I swipe up on my gamepad, you see the wind goes in a specific direction. That's actually the direction to your next marker. It's an incredibly well done in-game way of showing off where your next marker is. Now this element of the game is always so good. So you hold triangle, you let go at the right moment, and that happens, essentially. Which of course is another trope in many samurai films, which is the standoff. So I'm being quiet during this part because as you can hear the music's kind of ramped up, it's a tense moment, and I just want you guys to soak up kind of the ambiance that's going on right now.
Mongols. The man mentioned a wife and child.
Right, so one thing I want to quickly explain is I've already got a couple of stances here. So the stone stance is meant for swordsmen, for basically basic fodder in the game, and it's meant to dispatch swordsmen very quickly. The water stance is for shield bearing individuals, and there are two more stances in the game that I'm not necessarily going to spoil that are good for other types of enemies in the game. And as you kill leaders in the game, because there are encampments and things you can try and go through and progress through and defeat, all that kind of stuff, as you go through those areas you'll encounter those leaders, and as you kill those leaders you'll basically gain yourself towards the next stance that you can use to help in your quest. So we have to speak with the family in the home. Here we go. Pick up supplies.
No sign of the family here. Maybe outside.
Strange, strange. And as you can see, when you get a new objective, the wind picks up to sort of indicate that you've got a new objective and to make your way towards it.
Laundry. Still damp. The attack was sudden.
What could have caused the attack? So normally, there are investigative moments in this game where you kind of put on your best Bruce Wayne or Sherlock Holmes impression and you go around looking at clues around to try and piece together what happened. Again, some parts of this game you have to suspend your disbelief, and this all adds to my in-head canon that Jin Sakai here is a superhero and that he's just good at everything, because that's definitely how it comes across as. Okay, so there are more clues in this area because I just tried the whole wind trick. Oh, okay, there we go.
A lot of blood. Someone was killed here. Bodies were dragged, thrown in the water.
So you just go to each of these marker and Jin here will start to piece together. What happened here, and as you can see, unfortunately this guy's family has unfortunately succumbed to a tragic fate, and there you're going to be the bearer of bad news.
My lord, did you find them?
Your family was killed. I'm sorry.
Why didn't you save them? I ran like a coward. I should be dead too.
It's not your fault. Don't let their deaths be in vain. Resist the invaders. Help those in need.
Yes, my lord.
That was actually one of the more simple side missions. And there we go. This is actually a... Oh. Okay. Didn't know you had charms and stuff. So that's actually a relatively minor side quest. I have done a few side quests at this point, and that one is actually a very short one. I'm actually going to try and look for an encampment of some description to show you what you do with one of those. I think that would be a good place to go to. The thing I like about the encampments actually is that there are objectives you have to follow when you get there, and they do seem quite varied actually from encampment to encampment. Let's have a look what we do here. It's this direction.
Come on.
This game is incredible. It really is incredible in a lot of ways. It's a marvel to look at, marvel to listen to, marvel to play once you get the mechanics down, because they do take a bit of getting used to. But I thought I'd just show you a little gameplay footage of this game. I'll probably upload this clip as it is, and then at some point I'll come back maybe a bit later on with another clip for you guys to show you some other aspects of the game. But until next time, guys, this has been Vino of VenoPlonk's production. And as always, guys, you take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Ta-ra.